and shifted his gaze down one of the station's aisles. Jim followed the man's stare to where a gruesome image caught him unprepared, bombarding his senses. The dead man at the end of the aisle had been stripped naked. Blood was everywhere. Numerous lacerations ran along the length of his body, but the frenzied slashes were most prevalent around the heart, lungs, and sexual organs. His eyes had been gouged out. Without hesitation, both troopers drew their weapons and pointed them at the strange man behind the counter. Tom took a step forward and said, "Get your hands where I can see 'em." The suspect made no attempt to bring his hands up from beneath the counter. In fact, the formation of a smile constituted his only movement, as a malicious grin spread across his face. The smile held no joy, nor love, nor warmth. It was cold, making Jim feel like a fly trapped in a spider's web. Tom took another step forward and repeated himself with no better results. He had now advanced to no more than 3 feet from the counter. Jim, on the other hand, had taken a step back and wanted to scream at Tom that he had moved too close. The thought dissipated when the man behind the counter spoke in a calm yet commanding voice. "Do you like it? It's my version of a killing by Andrei Chikatilo, Russia's Rostov Ripper. You're probably not familiar with him. While you were learning about Lincoln and Washington, I was learning about Jack the Ripper, Albert Fish, Ed Gein, the Zodiac. Those were just a few of my founding fathers." The killer's eyes darted between them. "You boys don't recognize me, do you?" Tom screamed at the man with even greater ferocity. "I don't care who you are. Just put your hands on your head, now." The killer shot Tom an uninterested glance and said, "You should show me a little more respect. After all, I'm a bit of a celebrity. My name is Ackerman." Jim felt his breath stripped away once again. When he had first laid eyes upon the man, he had noticed a vague familiarity. Now his synapses fired, and he made the connection. He had seen the man's face on television, a 2-hour special presented by one of those network news shows. He tried to remember the name of the special. It was something along the lines of An Experiment in Madness, but he couldn't remember the exact title. He did, however, remember the description of the man and his hideous crimes. The program had described the kind of monster that was only supposed to exist in the minds of Hollywood's most creative, not a person of flesh and blood who found substance in the real world. Tom repeated his ultimatum, but this time he spoke the words in a soft voice, as if beseeching the madman to submit and end the confrontation without a fight. "Put your hands where I can see them. I'm going to count to 3, and then—" "I wouldn't do anything rash, officer. If you're not careful, my pretty little hostage might get her pretty little face blown off." "What hostage?" Ackerman redirected his gaze from Tom to Jim. "The one under the counter, with the sawed-off shotgun strapped against her right temple. It'll make a real mess of her, believe me on that. I've seen it before. It's not pretty, and I know exactly what you're thinking. You think I'm bluffing." He turned back to Tom. "And you're thinking that even if I am telling the truth, you can probably put one between my eyes before I could get my shot off. You'd be wrong, though. My fingers resting right on that trigger, and as soon as your bullet struck, my muscles would clench, and her head would be blown out the other side of this counter. So, gentlemen, it appears that what we have here is a Mexican standoff." Ackerman took a deep breath and continued in his honeyed tone. "Isn't this fun? You both began your day like any other. You kissed your loved ones goodbye, enjoyed a cup of coffee, maybe read the morning paper. But little did you know that this would be the most significant day of your lives. Today is a day that makes or breaks everything you've ever said or done, everything you've stood for or believed in. At some point, we all come to a place where we have to choose whether to be the hero, the villain, or to walk away and remain one of the sheep. This is one of those moments, gentlemen. I'm going to give you both a choice. You can walk away now and continue on with your lives. Maybe I have a hostage under this counter that I'm going to carve up the second you walk out that door. And maybe I don't.